I like it when coaches say things publicly that mesh with ideas that we weave into our narratives from time to time. And one of the things that we say is there's benefit in having a tougher path to the Super Bowl. Last year, it was a little too easy for the Eagles, and they got there, and I don't think they were ready for the fight that they got from the Kansas City Chiefs. We just mentioned that yesterday.
Yeah.
The 49ers are going to be better off because they had a couple of games where they had to dig deep to win. And yeah, if you lose, you're done, but you survived. So now you're better off for it. Kyle Shanahan did a conference call yesterday with reporters, and he was asked if it helps, having had a couple of gut check games, to go into the Super Bowl. Here's what he had to say.
I mean, I always think when you go through stuff like this, it hardens you and prepares you for any situation. I mean, you want to be able to go through tons of games and be able to win games any way possible. And I always feel we're capable of winning a game any way possible, but it just hasn't gone that way this year totally. We've been able to win a bunch of games pretty easily where that fourth quarter isn't so stressful, and the ones that we lost, usually you could see that happening earlier before that too. So to get in some games like this, it's just good experience for our players and to go through it and to make sure to see how important it is to go through all four quarters, win or lose, that you're never out of it.
I mean, he's absolutely right.
Yeah.
You've gone through the reps. You've gone through the practice of getting yourself in these moments where everybody has to find a way to hold it together when the pressure starts to mount. All right, we've been here. We've done this. We're okay. We're fine. Look at the difference between the last time they went to the Super Bowl and this time. And remember, last time we were there for the 27-10 victory over the Vikings. That was when Jimmy Garoppolo served up 3 interceptions to Eric Kendricks, who only caught one of them. Freaked out Kyle. They started to run the ball. The next week against the Packers, he was Bob Greasy in that game. Threw the ball, I believe, 8 times. Completed 6 for the entire game. They let Jimmy Garoppolo throw the ball again in Super Bowl 54. We're up 10 points, 7 minutes to play, and it all fell apart. But they weren't ready, in part, for that oh crap, here we are.
Right.
Fourth quarter, what do we do? And the Chiefs had been through, what was the path that year?
That was the comeback games, all the comebacks. 24-0.
They were down
17-7 to the Titans.
Down.
Right.
Yeah.
Exactly right.
Yeah, and they were down 10 points twice in that game in the first half to the Titans and came back and won. But yeah, that was they were down 24-0 in the first half to the Texans. Remember that moment where Bill O'Brien could have gone for the touchdown and delivered the dagger, because I think 28 would have been too much to come back from, and went for a field goal instead and made it 24.
Right.
And once you have resurrected your season, once you've accepted that you're just done and let's just go do our thing, I feel like that there's a cleansing aspect to that just makes you impervious to any of the other. Like, we're good now. We're good. We're already dead. We're already dead. Let's just go play.
Yeah.
Our season already should have ended. Let's just go do our thing. And there's a looseness to that.
I agree.
That you don't have if it all comes easily and then you get yourself into a spot where things get tight and you're like, what is this feeling?
Right.
Wait a minute. We're supposed to be on the sideline with our shoulder pads off by now. We're still playing in this game? What are you talking about?
Yeah.
I think there's something real about that, which gives the 49ers a better shot to win than they maybe had 4 years ago.
Yeah, no, I hear you there. You know, I think you hit on the Eagles last year, right? It was so easy. And A.J. Brown had that comment, right, that I think he said late in the game, he looked up in the scoreboard and went, wow, like, we could lose this game. It was the first time he had those feelings or thoughts in a while, right? And of course, they didn't perform to their utmost in that end of the game situation as compared to Kansas City, who had been in those situations a lot. So there is some value to this. And we know this was a question about the 49ers before we even got to the playoffs. So they've answered the bell in that department. The team, they're all going to believe in the quarterback, that if they're down, that he can bring them back. They believe in Shanahan and his ability to readjust, figure out a new attack, game plan or whatever on the fly to come back and win a football game. I think that's where they're different than the last Super Bowl. I'm not sure they're as good a team in totality, but I do think there's more belief in their quarterback that he can do some special things and they can do it that way, right? I think that's the big thing, right, Mike? But the big question with the Niners, it's still, right, And this is, to me, here's the flip side. You said all the good things. I agree with you in a lot of it. But the flip side, a little to this, is the 49ers, did they peak too early, right? They certainly don't look as good as they did when we were gushing about them in week 12 and 13 and 14 and going, oh my gosh, like you were saying, just chalk it up, put them in the Super Bowl. Everybody's playing for second, right? I mean, I was right there with you. They looked like they were on a different level than everybody else in football. Ravens game came, kind of knocked their swagger, out of their walk a little bit, and they haven't been as dominant, right? And that's where, the side of, we can win close games, but also the side of, man, we're not really playing our best football. Did we peak too early? And man, this team we're playing this week, wow, we can't not play our best ball against this crew here, right? And I think that there could be some doubt in the 49ers right now as far as how well they're playing too. I think that could go both ways in this conversation, especially with Mahomes and the Chiefs, on the horizon, and you know how magical they are if you're in another locker room playing them.
Hi, it's Mike Florio. Thanks for watching PFT on YouTube. Hit subscribe for the latest news and analysis from Pro Football Talk.